and today I'm going to be showing you how I make a super cute patchwork lace-up crop top. And I really love this top. It's super trendy right now. I love how it looks, I love how it fits, and it's super easy to make. So if you're interested in learning how to make this top, then just stay tuned. So the first thing that you'll need to make this top is a pattern, and I have my pattern listed in the description box below if you want to follow along exactly. And we'll need a rotary cutter, sewing clips or pins, up to you, scissors, fabric weights, the yarn that I'm going to be using, my acrylic ruler, my 2 t-shirts that I'm going to be using as fabric, and I have my serger. I will be using my serger today to make this top, but if you don't have a serger, I can show you a method that you could do on your sewing machine next. And so here I have my sewing machine if you don't have a serger, and I would just use stitch number 24, and that stitch looks very close to a serger stitch. It has the zigzag in the middle and then there's 2 straight edges on the sides. That is the perfect stitch if you don't have a serger, but keep in mind you can use really any stretch stitch available. If you're going to use a regular zigzag stitch, just keep in mind that it's not going to have the same look as this stitch or as the serger stitch would have. Also, the serger does cut off 1/8 of an inch with the knife, so you just want to keep that in mind whenever you're using any stitch on the sewing machine. Next, we can go ahead and grab our fabric and our pattern pieces and decide which pieces we want to be which color. So for this top, I think I'm going to do the first front piece in blue and the second front piece in black and the back in black. So we'll need 2 of each front piece and 1 back piece. At this point, you also want to determine which color you want the loops of the top to be, and those are the little straps that we're going to cut out, and I'm going to make mine black. So we'll need to cut out 14 little straps at 2 inches by 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and do the straps first, and then I'll cut out my pattern pieces. So now that we have all of our pattern pieces cut out, we're just going to take our little straps and we're just going to serge on both sides, on the long side, for all 14 of these straps. And then we're also going to serge the bottom here on all of the pattern pieces. And then we're going to serge the armholes by themselves, all 4 of these armholes here. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So this is what those pieces should look like once you finish serging all the sides I told you to serge. This is one of the little straps, and then we did the armholes and the bottom edges. And next we're just going to connect our front pieces together. So we can set this to the side. And when we are attaching our front pieces together, we just want to make sure that wrong sides are facing. Normally you would want right side spacing if you're trying to hide the seam, but we want the seam showing. So we're just going to make sure that wrong sides are facing, and we'll flip this around and place it on top. And then we'll do the same for the other piece. And then we're just going to serge from the top all the way to the bottom. And we're going to do that for both pieces. Just serge from the top here all the way to the bottom. And I'll get started on that now. And so this is what those 2 pieces should look like after we go ahead and serge along the edge here. And now we can go ahead and open them up. And so next we're just going to take our back piece and lay it out with wrong side facing up, and we're going to place the front pieces on top. Make sure that wrong sides are touching again. And next we're just going to serge these together at the shoulder and at the side. And we're going to do that for both sides, so we're going to serge here, 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 and here. And I'll go ahead and do that now. So this is what the top should look like at this point. And next we're just going to serge all the way around the collar. So start on one side and go all the way around. So this is what the top should look like after you have serged around the neckline. And now we're just going to grab our little straps here. And you could either use sewing clips or pins for this part. It's completely up to you. But what I'll do, since there's going to be 7 straps on each side, I'll place one where I want the straps to start and the other where I want the straps to end. And usually I'll put this last one right above this line. You don't want it to go past that. And then I I will space out the other 5. And then once I'm happy with where I place them, I'll go ahead and grab one of my sewing clips and I'll fold these in half. And then I'll clip it down to the front piece. And I'll do that for all of them. I just fold it in half. Make sure this edge is touching this edge because you want to make sure that the serger catches it. And I'll do that for all 7 of them. So once I have these all pinned down where I want them, I'm going to serge along here. As I serge, I'll take off the clips, but I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And then we will repeat the same exact process for the next side. So this is what that should look like after you've serged all the loops down. And next we're just going to do the same process for the other side. So this is what the top should look like once you have completed all of the serging. And next we're just going to grab our yarn that we're using, and I'm going to cut this at 49 inches for small. And then I'm going to lace the top, and you're going to lace it like a shoelace. So we'll start with both ends going straight into the first loop on both sides. And at this point you can go ahead and even it out. And then, like I said, we're just going to lace it like a shoelace, so we'll crisscross. So this one will come over here, and this one will go over here. And once I've finished lacing everything off, I can go ahead and just tie the ends. And then I can tie this into a bow. And that is a completed patchwork top. I hope that you love this top just as much as I do. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.